Hello and welcome back to the podcast, bros. As always, it's me, Avisraj Sumargi, and yes, it's gonna be one of those solo episodes. And yeah, today we are gonna be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, something that I really enjoyed during this vacation period. And of course, for the people that do not know, we were going through a festive season as of late, Dasai and Tihar, or Dasera and Diwali. So during this period, I had some free time and I was able to indulge in some of my gaming, what do we call it, urges, right? And yes, I had heard a lot about this game, Baldur's Gate 3, and I did wanted to check it out. By the way, I was a little tentative on checking it out, but I'll give you the reasons and everything why, and yeah, what I liked about the game, what I disliked, and all that and all. So let's take it from the top then, right? This game was released on August 3rd, 2023 for PC, right? And of late, about a month and a half ago or something like that, I had purchased the Asus ROG Alloy, right? And that has been a lifesaver for me. It's been very easy handled gaming device that I can take anywhere and all that, and I can connect it with HDMI and all that to the TV. So, and I can use my PlayStation or Xbox controller to play the games on it. So it became very convenient for me, especially during this vacation time, to travel with it and play some of the games that I had wanted to. Baldur's Gate 3 was on the top of the list since the day of its release because first of all, it's up for the contention of Game of the Year, right? It's that good already, and it released in August. So midway through the year, already people were like hyping this game up super much, right? And some of the ratings that this game got, like IGN had it 10 on 10, right? So Steam, the other big gaming industry, is journalism, so IGN, then of course Steam, the site on which I purchased the game and played, Steam also had it on 10 on 10. GameSpot was also 10 on 10, and Metacritic had 96 out of 100. So you can see that like the critics were overwhelmingly in the favor of this game, and it's not one of those games like from software, right, which are like super hard get good kind of games. No, it's not something like that. This is more of a traditional RPG. By the way, this game the roots of this game is set up from Dungeons and Dragons tabletop RPG game, right? And this game is made by Larian Studios, which has done Dragon Quest Inquisition and then other Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 before. So they are kind of well versed in the area of this kind of game. So they were able to really make the most out of this. By the way, there was this early access, sort of like a demo that they had kind of done 3 years ago that they had released, right? And during this release, they were able to get a lot of feedback. And you can definitely see it in the game when you play it, that they took the feedback to heart, and the game is almost flawless. Like, it's really amazing. Mind you that it's not for everyone, but this game is very interesting, right? And we've heard all the ratings and all this and all that and all. So let's get into it then. So from the very top, right, once you start the game, the first thing you get to do is character building, right? And in this game, there are 12 classes, different classes, right? You could be a druid, you could be a cleric, you could be a fighter, a monk, 12 different classes, paladin and all that. So 12 different classes that you can choose from. Not just that, there are 46 subclasses in those classes, right? So already the mixture and the possibilities of what you want to do with a character, insane, right? Then let's go to the different phases of it. So as you level up, you get a chance to multi-class. So when you multi-class, you can add 2 different classes to it. So the character that I built, whose name was Baldur, by the way, very interesting name. If people are interested to know why, please ask me in the comments. I'll be there and I'll let you know. But yeah, the character I built was a Baldur, and he was an elf, high elf, right? And not just that, he was also a warlock and a fighter, right? So it was a very interesting mix. And yeah, you could cast spells, as well as he was very good with melee range and all that and all. And there are so many combinations you can do with it, or you could go for a pure class build as well, like a pure paladin or a pure cleric or a druid, whatever you want. You can like have fun with that, right? So that's basically the character building. But okay, fine, I'm new to a game like this, I don't know how to build characters and all that and all. What do I do? Larian has you covered in that as well. So they have 10 different companions, right, in the game that you can group up with, right? And 6 companions or origin characters you can play from off the bat, right? 6 different characters that you can play from off the bat, and these characters have their own backstory and their own thing going on in the story. So if you do not want to create your own character and you want to maybe play a character that's already existed, that's already the game has designed, you can go with those 6 origin character and your game will flow very fluently as well. So there is no drawbacks in picking the companions as well. However, I will suggest that you guys should try to make your own character and play the game, of course. So when I first started playing the game, right, I'd never played a game of this scale and this magnitude and this level of character details and all that and all. So the first playthrough that I played, which was just 7.5, 8 hours, that one I played with a different character. And then I started building up the character, I leveled it up once and all that and all, and then I realized, okay, so this is how you can play the game and all that. And I looked up some guides on YouTube and all that and all, and that's when I finally decided to come up with Baldur, my main character. And then I did all this like fighter and warlock mix match, and then I took him on, right? So it's up to you. It's up to your prerogative. You could become a vampire whose name is Astorian, or you could become a Githyanki, which is an alien race, right? And you can become a fighter with her, whose name is LAE'ZEL. There is Shadowheart, who relishes the underdark, not the underdark, but the dark side of magic, and then it's a massive world with its own complicated history, almost to the scale of like Lord of the Rings or something like that. Not in terms of length of scale, but period scale, right? Like it's that big. And if you are a veteran, or if you are someone who has experienced this kind of game and all that, you could go with the Dark Urge story. And this Dark Urge, he is completely intertwined with the other story as well, the main quest of the story. And he is a psychopathic character that, has urges to do all the bad things and all the sad, like crazy things, kill other characters and do this and do that, and maybe side with the wrong side of the morale, gray characters and all that people. So it's very fun, but my main suggestion would be to make your own character at first and then go through the game and enjoy it. And then you can maybe do a different playthrough where you can either go to the Dark Urge origin, or you can go even the 6 origin characters and all that. And the gameplay will be different accordingly, right? So that's pretty much on the companion side of things, right? Companions and your character side of things. Now let's go to the story of the game. The story of the game is very interesting as well. You are a citizen of Baldur's Gate, if you choose to be, and in this world, there are multiple different kind of creatures, and one faction of such creatures with octopus head, they are trying to take over the world and basically create zombie-like characters who cannot think on their own or do anything on their own, or who do not have free will, but they will be slaves to these races, right? So that's basically the other side of the aisle, where you have no free will, no nothing, but they are trying to do that to the whole of Faerun, the earth of this world, right? So, and your character has been infected by one of these tadpoles that will turn you into one of these zombies, but you are protected by a prism, right? That is stopping you from transforming into one of those zombie-like character, and you're trying to find out a way how to cure yourself of this, and second, maybe if you want to defeat all these races and give people like freedom, and take care of this race once and for all. Or you could even choose to be the person that finally puts the nail on the coffin and take control of all these zombie-like characters on your own, right? So this game has over 120 plus side quest and main quest, which you will not be able, and I'm very serious, when I play games, right? When I play games, I like to play them in a certain way. So I'm very thorough with the way I play games, and I don't mind spending hours and hours into it. By the way, my first playthrough, by the time it finished, I had 150 hours into it. Yep. A lot of my vacation was spent on this, right? So 150 plus hours into this game. Really amazing game, but I was not able to get through all of the quests and side quests, because depending on what choices you make throughout the game, some of the side quest and main quest will differ, right? And because of that, you will not be able to experience everything. So for example, if you're playing a morally good character, then you won't get all the different side of the bad things you could do. Maybe deceive people, deceive other characters, or steal things and all that. You might not be able to get all that. But in the next playthrough, you could do a different kind of playthrough with a different character that you can build. And in that, maybe you can get all this different aspect of it, right? So that's that. But let's go to the next side of it then. Okay. Well, there are 174 hours of just screenplay. So that means all the NPCs and all that are in the game, they all have almost a dialogue. You can almost interact with any NPCs that's in the game. And this game, by the way, is, like I've already said, 150 or 160 hours plus. That's in one run, right? And if you play through other companions, and if you try to experience all the different endings, then this game will take you like over 300 hours, 400 hours to complete, if you want to see everything, right? So that means that the possibility of you experiencing every side of it is very less, but the gameplay opportunity on this, experiencing different sides of the coin, different aisles, is massive. So maybe you can consider that. So, and in that complete 300 hours of gameplay that you can play in all these different aspects of it, you have 174 hours worth of screenplay. So that means that it's insane. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go to the different side of it, right? And oh, by the way, let me also mention there are 17,000 different endings in this game. 17,000 different possibilities of choices you can make. So that means all the choices and all the things that you do will come back to you in different ways and will serve you in different ways, right? So that's why I was saying it's impossible to experience every side of the coin in this game in the first playthrough, right? And a little bit of a backstory, Larian Studios took almost 10 years to build this game. So, and with the 3 years previously in 2020, where they had opened a demo for this game. So that means this game took the feedback, a lot of hard work, a lot of passion, and they have really killed it, right? And I think they deserve all that. And they have over 400 employees at a time working at this game, and this game is on the clock all the time. So that means the bug fixes and all of this are happening almost instantaneously, right? So it's insane. And there's so much guides and YouTube videos and channels that will help you go through all of this. So if you are struggling with this game or something like that, do go through all of those, right? Give you a better understanding of the game and all that. So the world building and the map, like I said already, the NPCs, almost all of them are interactable, and they will react to you in different ways depending on what you choose to do and all that. And a choice you make in the 3rd hour of the game might come to bite you back in 80th hour of the game, right? So the choices and consequences you have in this game is insane. And when Witcher 3 came out, everyone was like, okay, so this is one of the best RPGs ever made, right? But I think Baldur's Gate 3 has set a new standard for RPGs in this modern era of gaming, especially with Unreal Engine 5 coming out and all these like different AR, VR things coming out. I think the gaming landscape is going to be more crazy. And I don't know if people know about this stat, but in the entertainment industry, gaming industry rakes more than what the music and film industry makes in a year, right? So that means this is a massive industry, and games like this is just going to keep getting better and better the more the games come out, right? So I've already said 150 hours plus of gameplay in one playthrough. It can even go to 180 if you're super meticulous, and you cannot finish it in one playthrough. So because the maps are huge, right? Act 1 on its own can be a separate game, right? Act 2 on its own can be a separate game, and Act 3 on its own can be a separate game. It's like that massive, and people, there are companies that will make games like that. So like the recent Spider-Man Miles Morales game, it was 15 to 20 hours long, and Act 1 on its own, if you try to finish everything in Act 1, will like take around 40 hours for you. So that means even a AAA game like Miles Morales done by Sony Activision cannot compare with Baldur's Gate. And it's coming from a Larian studio. It's not like they self-funded this game. It's not like somebody else was putting in money to make this game and all that, right? So the world building is insane. The stories are insane. All the characters you can interact with are insane. All of the people that are important to the what do we say, story, have their own amazing arcs and all that. And a character you might interact in the Grove in the early hours of the game might become the hero or the villain, depending on if you are able to save them or not. Like this game has so many choices and all that. So yeah, I hope if you guys have a chance, you guys maybe want to check it out, right? But the world building and everything else in this game, like the amount of choices you have in terms of weapons or the amulets you want to wear or the rings you want to wear that will give you certain powers with the spell and all that and all. Everything is just insane, and you can exploit the game as well because it has a base level of principles and rules that it has to follow. So when it's doing that, you can exploit the game. You can become OP very early on, mid-max the game, if you want to. But if you want to get an organic flow to the game, then also you can do that. You can also, on the flip side, because this game is very... It's like From Software game in terms of the consequences that might come because of your choices, right? So those, you can, even if you do not do it well, end up with a very bad character whose stats are very low and all that and all. So that means in all, you have to be a little bit smart about the game. You have to understand some of the rules and the principles that it's following and all that. And if you do get it, which it took me like about 7 hours into the game to get to a level where I was more than a layman, maybe an amateur, but then I was like, okay, maybe from here I can do my things my own way. And then I was able to, in my next playthrough, I was able to do it much better. So think about it. That's pretty much it on the hours of the game. World building, the stories is amazing. The characters you get to interact, the intertwining stories of some of the other sub factions that are in the game, that's pretty interesting as well. And yeah, 17,000 different endings, like I've already said. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? And at the end, would I recommend this game? Wait, before I get to that, let me also say I played this game. The reason I was tentative about playing this game is twofold. One fold is I work, right? I have a full-time job on the side, apart from YouTube. So that means I do not get to play this game like 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. I have to scrape a couple of hours per day, right? But during the vacation time, I thought I could scrape up some hours. And that's why I was a little bit tentative, especially when it came out in August 3rd. So that was one of the reasons, because it's such a massive game. The other thing is, it is a turn-based game, right? So the combat that you're in, it's turn-based. So that means it might be off-putting to some people, but let me tell you this. I'm not a huge fan of turn-based game myself. But the more I played it, the more I started to realize that even turn-based games can be fun. Like, it made the whole process fun. It made everything super fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I was playing it in a PC console, but I was using a controller, so the user interface for the controller as well of the PlayStation was really amazing. And I did not think there was any discrepancy or there was any flaws, and I would have I had a better experience if I had played it with a mouse and keyboard. So I did not feel that anyway. So depending on your preference, you can go mouse and keyboard as well, or you can even go through a controller, and that will work. For the people that are willing to pay this game but want to play it on PlayStation, it just came out on PlayStation the other day on 6th September 2023. And for the Xbox, it's going to be coming out later this year, right? So for the Xbox fans, they'll still have to wait. But would I recommend this game? Absolutely. I would recommend this game 100%, not just for the really advanced people, but even for like advanced gamers that have a lot of time to spare and all that. But even for the other people that if they can scrape up some time, they could experience what if a company that puts its heart and soul into making a game, then what kind of product can come out on the other end, right? So even for that, maybe spare out 40 hours or something. It doesn't have to be done in 5 days or something like that. You can spread that 40 hours in 40 days. It doesn't matter. Or you can even spend it in 20 days. But once you start playing it and you get into the groove of it, I think the game will call you more than your desire to not want to play it. So consider it. Definitely there are some flaws and feedback. For example, this game is so massive that some of the characters do not have a very proper arc, right? Like, so there was, but this is the amazing thing about Larian Studios. So there were people that were complaining about Karlak is a tiefling, and her arc was not the best, right, out of the companions that you can have in the game. So what Larian Studios did, they heard all this complaint, and within a week, they made a better arc for her, and they were able to execute it. No bugs found, no nothing. And yeah, so, there might be like, so for example, Act 3 is so massive that you might get fatigued by the time you finish Act 2. That's the other thing, right? Because if 180 hours into a game is massive amount. But if you're playing like me, if you're playing you can finish this game within 80 to 100 hours as well, if you do not go through all the side quests, whatever is possible. Because once I entered Act 3, I had 36 different like quest markers on my map, and that gave me fatigue. And I took a couple of days off, and then again I got back into the grind, and then the game started calling me again, and then I couldn't stop playing again. But all in all, really good story. You can control your fate, you can control the choices, you can control the decision. So I would recommend this to everyone and anyone that will want to play this game. And yeah, do let me know in the comments if you guys ever checked it out, or if you do want to check it out, or if there are any hiccups that you want to clarify before you want to check this game out. And I know this is a little bit of a niche kind of a video, but I really wanted to talk about this game. This game was very impactful in the last 3 weeks that I was able to play this game, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys check this game out, and let me know in the comment section if you liked it, didn't like it, why didn't you play it, or whatever you guys want to discuss. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and peace.